Limits of the Flesh, Chapter 45, Fantasy Fiction by Azazyel. Well, let's get going then. Rias said strongly at my reminder that before I do anything with Gaspar or get to messing with the souls of the Gremory loved ones, I needed to get a host for Gaspar's sacred gear as well as practice with messing with souls in general. Rias then went about calling over Kiba, Koneko, and of course, her other knight Artoria, who literally came into the room eating an almost excessively sized cheeseburger that was the same size as the paper plate she had placed atop her large breasts to stop any droppings from her burger from staining her Kuoh uniform as she walked and ate at the same time. "Mistress, you called?" Artoria bluntly spoke, and Rias happily nodded as patted Artoria on the head despite her being a little bit taller than her. "Yes, we are going on a hunt for a stray devil. But this goes out to all of you. Make sure to cleanly kill her with a snapped neck or something. Jake needs the stray's biomass to make a new servant that will be able to host Gaspar's sacred gear." Rias quickly explained, and everyone's eyes snapped to the box that shuddered in the back of the room at us paying attention to it. Artoria, hearing we needed to cleanly kill the stray, pouted as she manifested her spear coated in power of destruction, with her pout deepening at the sight of the spear. "Mistress, I don't think I can help at all. My spear removes all that stands in your path, so should I stay at home?" Rias's face twitched while looking at the innocent-looking Artoria's face, who was putting away her spear into the pocket dimension spell that Rias and Aquino spent apparently hours a day drilling into her head. Then, just to make an actual vein pop up on the silent stoic face of Rias, Artoria shamelessly went back to eating her oversized burger. Then Koneko coughed, raising a hand. "I haven't eaten lunch yet today as I was helping Jake with Senjustu. Can I stay home as well?" "No. You may not." Rias started before I raised a hand. "It's fine, it's just a stray that's not even of note, right, Rias?" I asked, and she nodded, saying how it didn't even compete in raiding games before she killed her master and fled the underworld back to Earth. "So, it's fine. If Koneko wants to sit at home eating snacks while we help the family, then I won't be mad. I will just be a little disappointed," I said softly, and Koneko's eyes snapped to me in a glare as Aquino giggled with sadistic joy as I played the mind game with Koneko, who obviously had to retract her wish. "Alright, I guess minus Gaspar." Cue box shaking in the background as Rias continued to speak. "And Artoria, who only has a delete with extreme prejudice fighting style. We will all be going to get the stray devil known as Visor. Jake, do you wish to pick up your retainers?" Rias asked me, and my face couldn't help but twist at the thought. Klee will bomb her to pieces, Monet would freeze her into chunks with holy ice which could contaminate or just simply break down the stray devil's body, EI would render her to charcoal, as even her abortion line has holy lightning as well as power of destruction coating the line, to say nothing of her using her dimensional cutting sword. "Thanks for showing her, Devil May Cry, Rias, truly," I said sarcastically, making her sheepishly giggle. "So no, my retainers aren't good for killing something without making a mess. But I can do it easily enough. Just get me to her and I can just flood the area with sleeping gas or something," I replied, rolling my eyes as Rias and Aquino's faces twitched at my reminder that at my core, I was not a punch wizard despite having the boosted gear. With that out of the way, Rias then teleported us across town into an alleyway, and as I took in the surroundings, I saw derelict factories, warehouses, and such. She is in that warehouse, but the reports don't know what mutations she has. Just that she has already racked up a bit of a human body count already. Rias quietly explained as she pointed out the factory Visor was supposed to be in. "Alright, you all be quiet," I spoke as I sat down on the ground in front of the factory where Visor was supposed to be. With everyone being quiet, I reached into my unicorn bloodline and activated the spring revitalization section of my abilities, so quietly and more importantly quickly form a dome of wood that grew over the factory from the ground, making the area surrounding the factory airtight. With it being only the late afternoon, it was obvious that the stray devil was sleeping, as all devils were weakened somewhat under the sun, but apparently, stray devils had their racial weaknesses even strengthened as they gained strength from the mutations they went through. "This feels like cheating," Aquino muttered as she saw me stick a hand into the dome, and I began sending in a fast-acting natural virus that propagated by devouring all the natural bacteria and other micro-lifeforms and were spreading at a ridiculous rate at the cost of a matching insanely short lifespan of only a couple minutes. But within the next 5 minutes said bacteria reached into the factory, and even with the thick airtight wooden dome everyone could clearly hear Visor within the factory. screaming hysterically as the hyper-aggressive virus went to work. The virus I created did only one thing within a living host other than self-propagating, and that was quickly dissolving nerves as the virus was attracted to the tiny electrical ions that would flash across the cells that acted to carry data through the nervous system. So having your nervous system literally melt and fall apart within yourself with no warning was not a pleasant way to go. But it was quick, as the nerves within her spine and even her brain quickly was devoured within a couple of minutes. Kiba stab a flaming sword into the dome and have it shoot a bunch of flames inside. The virus I created was made excessively weak to abrupt temperature changes as well as pressure changes. I asked with Kiba raising an eyebrow, but gamely did so. Won't a bunch of flames burn the body to a crisp or something? Rias asked unsurely, and I shook my head. No, he only needs to raise the average temperature of the interior by like 15 degrees F to kill all the virus. And even if some should survive, the change back to a gentler room temperature will kill them with the shock. I reported dully as I made sure the little virus I made wasn't going to grow to be some super world killer plague, as it was simply too fragile and would even die if the damned wind was blowing at it. Just to be safe, I extended the dome around myself when I went into it, so I didn't even expose the outside as I went in, and lo and behold, there was Visor's completely whole corpse on the ground. Let's see what I am working on here, I muttered as I approached Visor, and after kicking her to make sure that she was in fact dead, I crouched down, taking in the nude monstrous form of the devil who betrayed their king. Above the waistline, the woman was a rather normal black-haired beauty with the standard huge DXD-sized breasts, but below the waist was a massive, mutated animalistic-like body that was a mishmash of DNA I could make zero sense of nor cared to unravel into its base components. I just compressed all that extra biomass into Visor, making her body weigh a solid ton, as her body was fit to pop with the massive animal lower portion of her that I melded into her body. As I came out of the dome just to be safe, I then lit the entire dome on fire with Phoenix flames as I turned to Rias with Visor's corpse hanging in my arm. Alright, can you teleport me home so I can get to work? I asked Rias, whose eyes rolled at how I didn't even look back as I lit the wooden dome on fire behind me. Yes. But next time don't make a big fire that will attract human attention next time, Jake. Rias chided me, and I shrugged, as the whole virus plan was much more efficient than trying to make a sleeping gas or whatever, as the insides of the factory were huge and to fill it with such chemicals would take a ridiculous amount of effort. Then I was teleported back to my own mansion's basement with Rias, who left Aquino behind with Kiba and Koneko to make sure the flames were dealt with before the fire department was called.